the channel. In this video I'm going to be teaching you the Python module matplotlib, and we are going to be creating a sort of a simple graph using matplotlib. Now if you don't know what matplotlib does, is that it will format like all of our stuff into a graph. It's used for data visualization. Now let me just picture where it can be used. Now let's just say you are working in the stock market and stocks. You want to check which stock is at what price, and you want to compare the other stocks. So how will you do that? Well, you will see that all the people use either candle charts or the bar graphs to do all their stuff. So that's what we are going to be doing in this video. We are going to be creating a simple bar graph using matplotlib. So without further ado, let's write it. I don't know why I had my Node.js command prompt over here. Let me just go to my normal command prompt. Now I'm gonna be using Jupyter notebooks for my code, and if you wanna install Jupyter notebooks, you could do it by going to the normal website and using a binder, but I would not suggest you do that. Instead, I suggest that you download this thing called Anaconda, and all you have to do is just let me do this anaconda.org. All you have to do is just go to download Anaconda, and it's gonna take you to a new tab, and in that you just have to put in your email address and create your Anaconda account. And it's pretty small. It's just name it as data visualization, and rename it to that. Data visualization. Hit rename. Okay, it's already existing. So, alright. Data visualization with plot. And now, well, if you are on this part of the video, I think you might have already installed matplotlib. So we are ready to actually perform the commands. Now it's actually imported. So from matplotlib import pyplot as I just misspelled pyplot as PLT. Now, if you are like a sort of a beginner, intermediate programmer, then this is going to be a pretty long import statement for usually you would have imported like that from one module and just imported one package from that. But I've never created a really still a pretty long import statement, I think. So now actually let's just create a graph. Now a graph will consist of like some parts. Now actually let me just bring out my paint just to visualize it better to you. So a bar graph will be having like the main window, and just excuse me for my what just happened. So a bar graph will be having some parts like the main window of your graph and the axis, which are the lines that you usually see, and it's called axis in the technical terms according to Python. So just excuse my drawing. It's gonna be really bad because I'm doing it with my mouse. So, and I'm not good at drawing. So that's why just excuse me if my drawing is not something you really like. And also my mouse pad is just really dirty right now. So like my mouse is not really smooth. Now, actually, I'm gonna be doing now. What a bar graph will be having is first values. So we're gonna over here there are going to be some lines, and just somewhere here, and it's also going to be having lines at the bottom over here. Oh my god, I can't even make straight lines. So now like these are going to be having values of like 2 to 10, and these will be having like from 1 to like whatever, like it's gonna go in points, that's all. And this is gonna be our axe, that is our line, so it's gonna be something like this or this. And you can also like have multiple lines like over here to here and so on from there to there. So how do we do that? So actually let me just get rid of all of this actually. So now actually how do we create this? So first what we have to do in matplotlib is first create the plot, that is the window. So once we create the plot, we actually have to create the axis. Now the markings of the plot that I showed you come like default with it, so you don't need to do anything for that. But now, well, if you are not familiar with lists, then I would suggest that you first learn all of that before coming over here, because the axis or the lines, grid lines are going to be based through lists. Like we are going to be creating lists of coordinates and then we're going to be just showing. So like we are going to be having some coordinates. Like if you even look over at the bottom left corner, we are going to be having like constant coordinates over here. Right away, the coordinates are increasing. We go down and it's going to be like something like this. The list is going to be over here. So we first create the window. First we create the window and then we create that the lines, the axis. So actually, okay. So now actually let's just continue. So first we have to do is just type out plt dot show, and now actually that will just basically that show us that what do you say, the blank graph. Now actually let's just create the list of the coordinates. So x1, so let's just be like 2, 5, 8, and let's just make a y1 of, let's just say something like 1, 5. This is an issue. 1, 5, 8. No, not 8. Let's just take 9. And now what we have to do is just about plt dot plot, and we have to plot x and the y, and then we just have to show it again so we can actually show those. And now what plot will do is that it will actually plot those things. And now actually let's just run the program. Oh, I just forgot to save this. And there we go. If you have done it correctly. Now as I'm in a Jupyter notebook, you will see that there are, now if you are going to be doing this in IDE or if in the text editor, or like if you are doing this in Sublime Text or somewhere over there, then what you will also get is that if you will go to your bar graph, you will also be having like a list of coordinates at the bottom left corner that are going to be super duper accurate. Don't know why my cursor is blinking. Okay. Now that you have done that, what you can do is you can also increase the number of the coordinates in the list. Like you can also make one of 6. So let's just go to 9 and 1. Now this is gonna be a really funky looking like chart. So I'm just gonna be randomly putting in the values. Like if you actually wanna create a specific, specifically, then you have to learn its coordinate system. I'm gonna be teaching you that shortly, but and you can just look at it. It's so funny. Like it's a really weird shape to it. Like you won't really see anything like this. Now actually here's the thing. Many times what you would wanna do is you wanna compare like two things with each other. Now you can actually do that with matplotlib. And it's pretty like simple. It's not something too difficult to do. All you have to do is create just 2 of these more plots, or that's what we would call that. Actually, just for your reference, just create a comment like making. What am I typing? Sorry for my stop typing. Making the axis, and over here let's just make one of showing the blank plot. Now I would recommend that you just comment out this line of code and then you just put the plt.show and see what happens. Or you can just interchange both of these lines of code and see what happens. Okay, and actually let's also create some another command line. Show the main access. So I'm really gonna be encouraging people if they make comments in here. So actually now let me just show you the coordinate system, like how exactly it works, like how does the computer formulate such data. And now I use such an example of a complete straight line because I just thought that you would really get the hang of it if you use something like this. So over here, as you can see, I would use x as 2, 5 and 8 and y as 1, 5 and 9. Now if you are familiar with the gaming modules of Python like Total and Pygame, then it will be a little bit easier for you to understand this because all of those modules really heavily depend on coordinate systems. So as you can see, it's 2, 5 and 8. So it will extend up to the 8th of this part. So it's gonna go from 2 and it's gonna be like reaching the middle at the 5th one, and it's gonna go all the way to the 8th one. It's gonna be like the ending point. And over here, if I just after over here, I just put instead of 8, I just put like some like 15. You'll notice what will happen over here. You can see how it's like it's gonna go up till 5, and then it will just go up to 15. Like that, so you can see the steep incline. Let me just make this 8. Now, what about the y? Basically, in the y, as you can see, I've given 1, 5, and 9. So, how does that work? So, like, let me explain to you. So, again, in the y, it works similarly like the x. There are some core differences. Let me actually go through here. Get rid of all of this. Oh, I regret doing that. Let's actually make the graph actually. Now I'm going to be visually showing you this stuff throughout this tutorial because matplotlib is an important module and I don't want that you are not good with it, and it's a must have. So over here, as you can see, you could see like something like 1, 5 and 9 and something like numbers like that. And over there, now I'm just going to be like approximating the line that we made, but obviously I won't be able to do it actually at this speed. Now I'm just going to be speeding through. You don't need to do that. And now our line was something like this, although it was a bit more straight. And as you could see over there, it extended up to the 8th part over here. So it was like over here it was given like 8, and this was given as like the top one was given something as 9 if I am not wrong. Yeah, it's correct. Now let me tell you something. It will go up till the 8th one. Actually, let's just use this now. It will go as far as the 8th one and as high as the 9th one. Approximately like that. Just make this like 15. Okay. You can see the incline is a bit too much, like it's gonna go, and then it has to go to the 15th one. So you can see now it's basically like the x and y in the total module. If you've been on the total module, so basically that's how it works. Now we are just really I have just used. These are all the calculated values. I've already played around with these. I would really recommend you play around because that's literally now actually let's just create more plots. Now what I could do is I could even make two more plots, and I could just make another statement of plt.plot and I would give it. But that's like, and now let's just say, yeah, that will work surely. But let's just say the plot that we wanna make is really similar to the y plot. Now what I could do is I could just copy paste the y plot and I could do that. But yeah, it can be done. It's also effective. But let's just say we are actually doing this for some sort of a descent trajectory of a satellite. Now over there, this plot is gonna be like, I would say at least 50 digits long. Like it's gonna be having like 50 elements. This list is gonna be having. So in that time, it's really inconvenient. So what do? basically I'm just going to be creating one more plot, and I'm just going to be just giving some random directions 2, 5, and 6, and over here let's just go plt dot plot, and you can just do y and z, and you can see we have the y as well as the z axis. Now I could just turn it into whatever I want, but if I just make it as the same dimensions, then it will actually overlap it. Like make this 8, I think it will overlap the first one. Yeah, it's almost overlapping the first one, but as it's starting from 2 and like that, so that's why it's not doing that. And actually, let's just try and make this overlap the first one. Actually, and there we go, it's overlapping the first one. Now you might be telling, hey, why is this happening? Like I just changed these values. Now the x and y coordinates that I talked about actually depend on the placement of your things. So if I, instead of x and y, I just make this something like y and x, you'll notice something that now this guy is overlapping that. So that's why. So you always have to play around with these values. You cannot get like I'm just showing the second act, and I would really recommend that after watching through this tutorial, you just play around with these values, just these three. You can add another plot, you can delete a plot, you can just you just do it. And I would really recommend that you read some books on matplotlib. There are tons and tons of books online, and I myself am using a lot of them just for my better understanding of matplotlib. And it's an awesome module. And if you want to really go into data visualization, then matplotlib is going to be an awesome module. Now let's just, if you don't want to use Jupyter Notebooks, or you don't want to use any IDE, then you can use Collab Research of google.com. Even that's going to be having matplotlib. In fact, if you are having trouble installing some module, I would really recommend that you go to collabresearch.com. That's smart. So what it does is that Google actually is having all of the Python modules. So if you go to Collab Research, you're going to be having all the Python modules. Like let's just say you are unable to install, let's just say TensorFlow, which is a little bit problematic because many times there are a lot of bugs in installing TensorFlow. So many people cannot do that, and or you cannot install PyTorch, or you cannot install OpenCV. Then you can just go to Collab Research. You are going to be having a UI user interface, like literally like a Jupyter notebook, and you will be able to do all of that. And I would really recommend that you do it, and you don't quit doing that, because it's a pretty important one. Otherwise, you can just go to your normal command prompt, just type out and pip, make sure it works. Now I would also wanted to show you another thing in this tutorial is like somewhat how to fix the pip issue. Now what I would recommend you do is go to a thing called add or remove program. Go to add or remove programs, and what you do is just go over here and just search for Python in your list. So, and just make sure that you are having like only one Python version. If you are having more than one, it's okay, but it will be a little bit more difficult. So just search for Python. Yeah, I'm having a lot of Python versions. Now all you have to do is go over here and just click on modify, and then you can just hit modify, and over there you're gonna be having like 3 options of pip and some other 2. I don't remember what they are. Now all you have to do is just check pip if you do not have it checked, and then if you just type a pip, should probably show you the result. Yeah, this result. Or else, if you still cannot do it, there's another way, but I'm not really clear because it's really complex. You have to like create a path, put pip over there. Now I myself fixed it like this. Many times what happens is when you download Python, that sometimes it happens that you get a little bit of a corrupted Python version. So all I would do is go to Microsoft Store and search for Python, or and you get a lot of Python options over here. And what or else now this or else you can just go to your CMD and just open it up, and if you have sort of a corrupted Python version, just sort of Python 3, you will open up it with. Now if mine is good, so like I can actually type out some Python code and it will work, but if your is like a corrupted Python version, then it won't actually work, and instead it will open up your Microsoft Store. I'm not sure how to do this in Apple, but I know how to do it in Windows. So just go over here, search for Python 3, and it's gonna be showing you like a whole list of Pythons. And then then just type out pip over here. Actually just type out pip, and you will get a sort of an executable like this. Pip run command, and it pip as a JSON file and some things like this. And just check where exactly it is, and then put your Python over there and just modify it and click on pip. If you do all of this, I'm 99.99% sure your pip will start working. You will be able to install all the packages, and you won't have to go to standard bye. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please check a like, subscribe to the channel. There are going to be future videos about matplotlib, and it's taken a lot of time and effort to create these videos because it's a pretty complex module. So please do appreciate my efforts. Please just check a like, subscribe to the channel, and until the next time we meet,